Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the podcast. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to grow our channel, and as we continue on with the podcast, we want to start new forms of content. We want to start posting our work here on YouTube. So if you want to see some of that and continue supporting the podcast, please subscribe. Enjoy the episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Exordia Creative Podcast. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing great. It is a Thursday today. We've had a very busy week, so we've been putting off the podcast a little bit. Jared pulled an all-nighter to get a proposal done, which is greatly appreciated, and yeah.
Got some big deals in the works. We're
Yeah.
excited. A lot of new stuff. As you guys probably noticed, we're in a new location.
Yes.
New angle.
Yep.
This is actually our new room. We have this little nook in the back with some overhead lighting.
Yep.
That'll be a good space for a podcast.
Yeah.
So let us know what you guys think. With that being said, though, we're actually going to get rid of this table.
Yeah.
And what we're thinking is we're going to do 2 or 3 chairs along this wall. And you'll get like a full body shot, maybe a couple little like end tables in between us for drinks and mics. We're playing with that. We've got some cool props on the way. We're going to probably leave that under wraps for now.
I want to say it so bad.
Yeah, Quinn's really excited. He's wanted this basically since we started our business.
Yeah.
So work in progress, but let us know what you guys think of the new layout. I'm also kind of torn, like, do I look at you? Do I look at the camera?
We're going to figure it out. The chairs, when they're laid out, though, are going to be, like, tilted kind of, like, towards the camera, but, like, we can also just have, like, a natural conversation. This table's a little inhibiting to do that. Like, you feel a little weird. Yeah. But, yeah, we'll have some nice comfy chairs, make it a little more of a relaxed environment. So
I think we're going to turn this to our meeting table.
Yeah, full-time meeting table. It's going to go in the middle of the room, working on a little living room setup. We're going to make this space homey.
Yeah, we know a lot of you guys commented that you didn't like how we were facing each other directly in our old layout because we weren't making any eye contact, so maybe this is a little bit better.
Yeah.
When we get the chairs set up, we'll have even more like front-facing view.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know what you guys think. We're happy to be here. We still have a lot of furnishing to do and everything. We're getting the new setup. Make sure it's right, but yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Just to address, if you guys listen to the podcast every week, or if you're like a regular listener, you'll notice that the last couple episodes are probably out now, but they're out in audio only on YouTube, and they're out on audio platforms, obviously. I had my worst nightmare ever happen to me. I thought it would never happen, but I had my SD card format on me.
Yes.
So I lost a shit ton of stuff. So dealt with that, bought this software, retained some of the stuff, some of the more important stuff that we really needed. So that's good, but the podcast was unrecoverable. So that's where the podcasts have been. And we've had a lot of really cool episodes the last couple of weeks, which kind of sucks. We talked about the stock market, the AMC, the GameStops of the world.
The GameStop episode.
Jared went in on it. But anyway, you can listen to that. We still have the audio version, so you can listen to that. But yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, that's where the podcasts have been. And then coupled that with the busyness of everything.
Getting the new space set up.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that was our first time like falling off the once a week, every Monday routine.
For at least half a year.
Honestly, yeah. We had a pretty good track record. But yeah, we're going to get right back into it.
Yeah.
Back to the regular programming after this. So
thank
you guys for understanding. But if you're listening to this one, the previous 2 are going to be out by now.
Yeah.
So you can go check those out.
And ironically, too, I was looking through the analytics on the podcast on both YouTube and Anchor and stuff, and everything's up.
Really?
Yeah, we got a couple of new subscribers on YouTube.
Where we've been, maybe.
Yeah. So
maybe we get more of that organic search.
Maybe
when we don't show up on the homepage.
Maybe
people are like, I haven't seen them in a while.
What's kind of cool about this, and I'm sure you've probably heard about it, but a lot of like the big YouTube celebrities and stuff, they make what's called Evergreen Content. So like the content, like once you post it, like they can reference it 5 years from now and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And I feel like podcasts are kind of evergreen, especially when we get into like doing the guests again, which we're going to get into, and we get bigger guests and stuff. That content can live on there forever. And eventually, once we get monetized, it'll be cool.
I think it's going to be a nice time capsule.
Yeah, that too.
You know, like imagine 20 years from now when we want to see our first reaction to the pandemic news, like 6 months ago. Pardon me.
A year ago.
What is it? 11 months ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're losing track of time.
Yeah.
But like, how interesting will that be? Or hearing like, I know we didn't start this podcast right when we started our business, but you know, when we're more established in the future, to look at like how we thought and how we spoke about things when we were young.
Yeah.
That'll be pretty cool.
It will be cool. Yeah, I still love doing the podcast.
Imagine if the type of recording technology and social media and everything was around when your grandparents were our age.
Insane.
And you could see 4K video and photo of your grandparents doing their thing.
Yeah.
You'd probably see them in a totally different light
It'd be wild.
instead of just that black and white photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, our children are going to know everything we were up to.
Yeah. That's crazy to think about.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It makes me wish that I spent more time like journaling or taking photos and stuff, just to like capture some of the memories. I'm not good at that.
And that was one of my New Year's resolutions, was to bring the other camera home more and just like take normal pictures. But like, I don't know.
I mean, you get fatigued because we do it for
Exactly.
for a job.
Exactly.
But like, how amazing is it going to be looking back at those pictures? In,
Yeah.
like half a century.
Even now, when I look back, remember when we did social tips?
Mm-hmm.
When I look back at that, and I'm like, holy shit. And like just remembering where I was in like my headspace.
Exactly.
And not only that, but like the artist in me, like the creative sucked. Like it was so bad. The videos were so bad. But
from the outside looking in, I mean, it just looks like no offense, like a little cringe content.
Mhm.
But you like you said, you know the headspace you were in, and it just takes you back to that time.
Yeah. But everything's cringe until it's not.
100%.
So-
It's one of the things. It's one of those like bitter pills that you have to swallow. Creating content.
Yeah.
You're gonna embarrass yourself. You're not gonna like your voice or how you look or
Yeah.
what you say or whatever.
We've actually had a lot of people want us to bring social tips back. And until we can free up a little bit more of my time with like actually doing the creative side of things, I don't think I have the bandwidth to do that. We're going to keep doing the podcast. We can throw in little things. And I would love to do like a weekly 1-minute show on Instagram, but I don't have the bandwidth right now. So.
Yeah. And that's totally understandable. We're working on increasing our marketing budget.
Yes.
So that is something that we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've made a few investments in the last 6 months and getting some more consistent marketing.
But at this rate, if we spend on marketing, we're going to need to hire a lot of people. We're busy.
Yeah, definitely.
We're busy.
We're certainly asking more questions about who we need to get on the team next now.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. It's part of the fun.
Yes.
Our business is shifting toward more like project-based work,
Yep.
which we always kind of thought may happen. And it's just kind of funny because you try to steer the ship in a certain direction, like monthly retainer, which we like for comfort and security. But sometimes like you pull the wheel one way and then the ship goes the other way.
Yeah. Well, it was the same thing when we first got the bakery in 2017. From that point on, we were like, hey, food, we're going to go with food. And we were dead set on restaurants.
Yeah.
And then we get ripped into another direction. It just kind of takes like all these different directions and you can never really plan for which way it's going to go. And the reason why we didn't want to do projects was because projects at that time for us meant like lower budget, like kind of whatever. But these projects that we're bidding on now are like year-long campaigns with like proper budgets, like 5 figures on ad spend, like really nice, solid budgets.
So there is a sense of security in the longer projects.
Oh, definitely. And I love all of our monthly retainers because no matter what, we know that we're covered.
Yeah.
And then everything above that is... Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's you kind of have to like reframe your mindset, because if you think about doing a big project that's really time consuming and it takes a lot of your resources, you have to think about the opportunity cost of not pursuing monthly retainer. Mm-hmm. And that could be scary because once these projects are done, it's easy to assume you might be high and dry and you spend all this time doing something and then it's over. Like the political campaign that we worked on. Yeah. Kind of like that. Things were going great, and then it just kind of turned off. And luckily, we were able to maintain that relationship. Yeah. But I think that's one of the fears of shifting toward project-based work. But you have to remember, like your reputation is cumulative. So people hear about what you've done, and if you do a good job on the project, there's certainly going to be more. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting to see how we're slowly making that transition to more project-based stuff. Yeah.
And that's not to say we're getting away from retainers in any way. I still love the retainers. It's nice to know that monthly income comes in, the monthly revenue. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Sure. Okay, well, new office.
It was your birthday 2 days ago.
It was my birthday 2 days ago.
Happy belated.
Thank you. I'm 25.
So, okay, that's crazy. First of all, how does it feel? Quarter century.
I feel good. I feel good.
Any quarter century wisdom? I believe on my birthday.
I made you.
You asked me for a piece of wisdom, and you said you would give one on your birthday. So what is it?
Oh man, this could go I have so many little nuggets to give, and a lot of them are just ripoffs from what I've heard. But who really has an original thought.
What do you think the people need to know?
I think that in life, and especially when you're young like us, and I know our audience, the people that listen to this podcast, you're like 18 to 25, most of you, a couple 35-year-olds, couple 40-year-olds, whatever. I think that when you're in your 20s, you have to take the most risks. Like, yeah, just take risks when you're young. Work hard when you're young so that you can enjoy life in your 30s, 40s, and all that. Not to say that I don't enjoy my life.
Yeah.
But like, I think the way that I'm going right now, I'm upfronting all my work at the beginning so that I can have a lot more free time to do. Well, not that I don't love what I do, but
yeah. Well said.
Take risks and do what you love, and take a risk by doing what you love. Because if you love what you do, and I still wake up every day with this passion every morning. I jump out of bed at like 7:30. I'm like, I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready to get my coffee in me and like, let's roll. And I think that there was definitely a time in the business and in life where I wasn't at that point, probably because stuff wasn't happening as quickly as we wanted it to. But you've just got to put in the work, take risks, and be kind. Be kind.
Love it.
That's all I have to say while I'm on the spot here.
Yeah, I agree. I think you did a great job. I think that's super important. You know, it's a financial principle too, your risk tolerance. And the longer your time horizon, aka the younger you are, the longer you're able to wait to have your investments realized, the higher your risk tolerance and the more risk you can take. Because you and I can start 10 businesses and fail and still be 30 years old, which isn't a liberty that people have when they're older, especially if you have, you know, bigger bills to pay and other people in your family to take care of. Yeah. I think this is the time. Yeah. Do it while you have the rest of your life ahead of you. Yeah. For sure. It's not going to be as easy if you wait.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I got. How's it feel to be 24 still?
Feels good.
Baby Lund.
Yeah. I'm chilling, man.
And then in terms of like physical, like I feel good. I moved into my new place, so we've got a little home gym set up. I actually might be acquiring a knockoff Bowflex from somebody.
What is Bowflex? I remember all the
Bowflex is like those home gym things. Anyway, this thing that I'm looking at has like your seated row, your lat pull down. It's got like all this stuff in it. Okay. And somebody wants to get rid of it, and I'm like, oof, I might have to do that.
That'd be a nice investment.
Yeah. And it's a family friend, and they said, whatever you can afford.
I think, you know, one thing this pandemic showed me is that going to the gym is not the way anymore.
Dude, it's really not. And we have one downstairs.
Still.
Yeah.
You know, there's like my idea of like the ideal workout regimen is wake up, work out from the comfort of your home.
You work out right in the morning.
I would.
Okay.
I don't tend to now because I don't have a home gym.
Okay.
But if I did,
that's what you would do?
Ideally, I would work out right in the morning, shower, and then you're good for the day. Right? You know, you don't have to go back and forth. There's no changing. There's no bringing stuff around. Yeah. There's no being sweaty in the middle of the day. Yeah. I think that's the move. Yeah. Or at night or whatever, but just that at-home convenience. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. Right now I've got a flat bench with like the leg thing on the end and 120 pounds worth of weight, kettlebell.
Nice.
It's nothing too crazy, but I'm getting creative with it.
Yeah. But once you get the fundamentals, like you can just add a little piece here and there. Yeah. You know, and then slowly build your collection. Yeah. Get some more plates. Get a Bowflex. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. And that is another thing too. And I'm sure like everybody knows this, but when you move your body, especially when you work in like a sedentary job like we work in, like it is pretty sedentary. Yep. We do have standing desks and stuff, but when you're sitting at a desk all day and you don't sweat and you don't move your body, I feel like that affects your mental a lot.
100%.
So even if it's just going for a walk, that really helps me too. So move your body, sweat at least once a day, and rip and roll, baby.
Lots of wisdom. I like that.
Did you watch any of the Super Bowl ads?
I got to tell you, I did. I don't know if it was an American network or a Canadian network. None of them were noteworthy to me, to be honest. In hindsight, I did see online that there was one cool ad put together by Reddit, which I thought was creative. I don't remember seeing it during the Super Bowl for whatever reason. I was like tuning in and out of it. But yeah, honestly, my first impression was it was a little underwhelming. I mean, my biggest takeaway was the viral halftime show with The Weeknd and all the memes of him in like the mirror house
And the cameras.
and everything.
Yeah.
Reddit did a cool one, where they actually did like a screen grab of a mock-up of a Reddit post.
Okay.
Shout out to Our Billboard, which is a mock-up of a Instagram ad.
Yeah.
Maybe Reddit saw it, bit the idea.
Maybe, probably.
But anyway, they said basically it was a text post that read, we didn't have enough money for a proper Super Bowl ad, but we decided to invest our whole marketing budget in this 5-second still. Hopefully you pause it and read it. And I'm paraphrasing, but they basically said something along the lines of like, this week we learned that when we work together, the underdog can do anything.
Oh, that's cool.
Referencing like the Wall Street bets and and GameStop saga. Check out the previous episode if you want to know more about that. But that was basically the gist of it. And I thought it was interesting. I wish I got to see it live. You'd have to pause it to read it. It was like 2 pretty big block paragraphs.
Okay.
But I thought that was creative, and maybe
Yeah.
if they were tight on budget, that's probably a cool way to spend it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Some of the standout ones for me, I liked what Bud Light did with this guy with the sign. So they had him.
Right.
They had him go to the actual Super Bowl and
Right.
then hold up a sign saying something. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade or whatever. And he had a Bud Light seltzer mask and a Bud Light seltzer in each pocket or whatever. And he had lemons on the board. So I thought that was pretty creative. I still tune in sometimes with Gary V's content. I feel like he kind of has his head in the right space. Sometimes I tune in, and I wanted to hear what he had to think about the Super Bowl. And he had a few clients that he made Super Bowl ads for.
Right.
One of them was Scott's Miracle Grow.
Okay.
And I think it's so funny how his messaging and what he thinks works in marketing actually goes into his clients. So, for example, he's really big on text marketing.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't know how I feel about it. I would hate to get a text from a brand, I think. Unless it was like a birthday text, which I did get a birthday text from a brand, which was fine.
That's cool.
But anyway, the whole call to action for the Scott's Miracle Grow was to text this number to get entered into a giveaway for a backyard makeover for $15,000. And they had a bunch of different celebrities and stuff playing in their backyard. They were like doing TikToks and like doing all this like culturally relevant shit. Martha Stewart was in it, so that was kind of cool. But anyway, it's interesting to see like what he thinks is working in marketing actually being used with a Fortune 500 company. Mm-hmm. And I believe they do Budweiser stuff. So I wonder if he had anything to do with the guy with the sign. Because think about that. They probably just paid the ticket, which was like $11,000. And he goes and stands there. And naturally, there's 25,000 people in the audience, which was crazy. He just holds up a sign. Of course, the big cam's going to go to him.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of a smart play.
I think that's really creative.
Yeah.
That's interesting with the text marketing. I know Gary Vee's a big proponent of it. I've got mixed feelings because on one hand, I like how native it is to get a text message and that you don't have to open Gmail and reply there. Like, it's much easier to reply to a text.
Yep.
I feel like there's less friction. But also on the same end, and I'm not saying it's the fault of every company that uses text marketing, but I'm very protective of giving my phone number out because I get what are they called? Spam calls as it is.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm paranoid about more companies selling my phone number to even more companies. You know, like I get those calls from the CRA, cruise lines, you name it. And my text inbox is like my safe haven from that.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to pollute it.
Well, I feel like that's where everything's kind of going at this rate.
Yeah.
They've got our phone numbers. They've got our emails. Now let's use them on text. So anyway, I get a bunch of spam texts as it is too. Like, I don't bank with TD, but I get these texts from TD saying, oh, claim your revenue or claim your tax write-off or whatever the hell. And then it's like $700. Click the link.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I always, if I'm able to sign up with one or the other, I'll always choose like an email.
Yeah, of course.
'Cause you can, you know.
And I typically use my burner email.
Yeah. Use a burner.
Yeah.
You can block the sender maybe.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. What else, man? We've got the lockdown ending.
So what's the deal? I don't know the specifics of this new update.
Dude, I don't know what the hell the
lockdown
deal is either,
regulations.
but I follow a lot of businesses and they're like, we'll see you on the 16th. 16th. We're opening on the 16th. Shit's opening on the 16th. 16th.
So is everything open?
I guess
Like
so.
our non-essential stores opening, I should say?
I think so. A lot of the, because I heard also that the personal care stuff, the personal services like hair and whatever, aren't opening. But then I follow people that run barbershops and stuff, and they're like, we're opening. So I really don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be my first guess. Like, so if it's not personal care stuff, then is it like, you know, what kind of store isn't personal care but is also non-essential, like a clothing store maybe?
I guess,
So
but
opening?
even non-essential retail is opening with capacity limits. So
maybe it's just the stuff where you're in like close physical proximity with other people that you can't do. So I assume salons and gyms.
yeah, but they're opening. Like even some of the gyms in town here, they're like, we're opening.
But has the announcement been made that they're not supposed to
I
open?
don't know. It's very unclear because I
Yeah.
think all the announcement says right now is that on the 16th, they're going to be launching their new color-coded system.
Great.
So,
Okay. I'll have to look more into it because I really
Yeah.
got no idea what to expect.
yeah. And then locally, for those that that aren't from around here, we're actually doing kind of shit right now. We had our highest case count in the last couple of weeks, but it's gone down a little bit. We're in the 120s, I think, right now. So,
Yeah, time will tell. Kids are back at school.
yes, kids are back in school, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about a funny story. Oh, my dog. So we
Yeah.
move into this new place. Super stoked about it. It's the very first day. We have a sunroom off the back of the house. So now we have to like let the dog out of the sunroom.
Right.
And you were here when Sarah called me. And Sarah calls me when we were filming a podcast. She said, please call me after. I said, oh boy. My dog jumped through the sunroom window, glass, jumped through it to go get a bunny. She didn't get the bunny and she smashed the window. So
Didn't feel a thing.
didn't feel a thing. Not a scratch on her. She had a vet appointment, ironically, the next day, and they said everything was good.
That's hilarious.
What a dog.
You know, like,
She's adjusting very well now, though. She's good.
she knows the windows are there.
Yeah, she knows the windows are there.
Like it's one thing to not see the window as a dog. I get that. But like I've seen the windows in your sunroom.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that brittle. Like
No,
they're pretty solid windows.
They're pretty solid.
So I just don't know how she made it through.
I don't know. Smashed it to literal pieces.
Guess when you see a bunny, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, and she didn't even get the bunny. What a letdown. So,
Oh man,
yeah.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, dude. That's all I got on the list.
What else? What was the highlight of your birthday?
Amazon. We were going to talk about Amazon and Bezos.
True, yeah.
Bezos.
Jeff Bezos has made an announcement to step down as CEO of Amazon.
And the guy that's been running AWS is taking his place.
Yeah. I got a few thoughts on this. I'm curious to know what you think. I know I already told you about this the other day, but
I had opposite thoughts of what you thought originally.
okay.
And I'm willing to say those.
Okay. Let's break it down for the people. So last week, I believe, Amazon announced that the current CEO, Jeff Bezos, founder since the 90s, announced that he would be stepping down as CEO in the third quarter of this year. And he was going to take a role as, I think, the chairman of the board of directors or something like that. So a very executive leadership-based role, but no longer the CEO. And he's going to be replaced with Andy Jassy, who runs AWS, the Amazon Web Services portion of their business, since 2003. So he's been with Jeff and with the company since the early days. I'm not sure if he's a founder, but point being, he's been there for almost 2 decades. And AWS, as you probably hear about how much more it's being talked about now, is the biggest profit driver of Amazon currently. So this to me tells me a couple things. It tells me that they're really doubling down on the AWS portion of their business. And I have some kind of tertiary thoughts about what I think Jeff's plan is and what I think of his move, but I'm curious to know what you think.
So originally I was like, my initial thought, and I don't follow a lot of like big Fortune 500 companies. Like I have a general idea of what's going on and who's the CEO and all that kind of stuff. But when I originally read it, I was like, oh shit. So like my initial thought was the CEO, the founder, is going to be leaving. And then I thought that would be a negative thing. And then I brought it up to you. I was like, well, what do you think about it? And you're like, well, look at the track record of other Fortune 500 companies like Apple. Like when Timmy Cook took over, Apple just up and to the right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a very valid point. And especially if they are going to be going all in on AWS, that's a perfect move to bring in Buddy that's been running it this whole time.
Mm-hmm. I get what you mean, though. Like, there's something
A little bit of uncertainty, I guess. I feel like it would cause a little bit of uncertainty, but I didn't know who was replacing him.
There's something unique about a founder-led company.
Yeah.
That makes them special. And like, you could look at the example of Apple, and you could look at Tim Cook from a financial perspective has done a fantastic job with the company. But a lot of people believe maybe they're just wearing rose-tinted glasses. Maybe it's just a case of nostalgia, but they don't think that Apple is as inventive as they used to be, for better or worse. And now they're more profit-driven, which I could totally see the argument.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Andy Jassy would probably be an apt replacement because maybe it's not a founder-led company, but if the founder becomes AWS and he's the guy who founded the AWS division of Amazon, it's not like some executive who was groomed from the outside to take a CEO position.
Yeah.
It seems like a very organic fit.
Yeah.
Also, with Jeff's new rule, he's still going to be very hands-on.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I don't think he's going to be in the back seat.
No.
By any means.
No.
One hypothesis that I do have about it is he's shifting more of his focus toward Blue Origin, which is his space exploration company.
The space race.
Right. So I'm somewhat versed in the world of Fortune 500 companies and their CEOs. And one interesting piece of context I think you should know, that I think you should know, is that earlier this year, Elon Musk, founder of Tesla, also founder of SpaceX, became the richest man in the world. And not that I know from first or even secondhand experience, but I imagine most people who have amassed that kind of wealth probably have pretty substantial egos. And as supreme ruler Jeff Bezos gets dethroned by Elon Musk, who also has ambitions to go into space with his exploration company SpaceX, which has a fantastic partnership with NASA. They do a lot of projects together. I could see Jeff maybe feeling a little bit threatened by that. This is all just like contextual guessing, really.
Yeah.
But he claims he's going to be spending a lot more time on Blue Origin. So I think this is going to turn into like the two richest men in the world billionaire space race.
Who's going to get
kind of thing. Seriously.
Space 5K.
Yeah. I think
fight for the chair.
I think people who know say that SpaceX is a lot more advanced.
Well, I was just about to say
now.
that. I was going to say like SpaceX, Blue Origin.
Yeah.
You know
I'm not
mean?
versed enough to know, but if you're the richest guy in the world and you get dethroned by someone else overnight who also has ambitions of going to space, and this is really like the next frontier.
Yeah.
If Amazon is hitting its critical capacity and you need to do something else in order to keep growing your mission and growing your brand, you kind of have to leave the planet at this point.
Yeah.
Because these guys, their services are ubiquitous.
Yeah. Especially
Especially Amazon, not so much Tesla.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really interesting, I think, is to see what comes next with these space companies.
Yeah.
There's also Virgin Galactic, which you could look into.
Yep.
But yeah, a lot of corporate interest. And I think what we're going to see first is we're going to see very expensive small space projects for like leisure exploration for the very wealthy. Maybe the first couple of flights, cost $5 to $10 million, and a few people who are very interested in doing it are going to do it. And then that cost curve is going to decline, and you're going to start seeing the $250,000 flights. And then maybe eventually, if you look far enough in the future, it's just as ubiquitous as flying to Europe or something like that. Yeah. I'm really interested to see what happens to space tourism in our lifetime.
We're going to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see it.
Yeah.
And we're just barely scratching the surface right now. So it's really telling to see, these two like really prominent figures in the world, both like kind of neck and neck for the same thing right now.
Yeah.
So maybe this is Jeff's excuse to devote some more time toward Blue Origin.
Yeah. Elon was on Clubhouse.
Right. He grilled the CEO of Robinhood, who turns out to have just been a figurehead, really, for the holding companies that Robinhood is beholden to behind the scenes, and he was just kind of the face to point at. Anyway, we talked about that in our previous episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool. I also heard Elon Musk is going on with Kanye West, apparently.
Yeah, I heard that. I didn't know if it was like some made up thing or if that was real.
I think it's been confirmed by Elon Musk.
Well, here's the thing about
I don't know.
those Clubhouse things is like, I'm on Clubhouse, but if you want to go into a room, there's like a certain amount of people that are allowed in a room at one time.
Right.
And then if you don't get into it, then you go into like this sub room where you kind of, it's like a waiting room.
Can you hear?
No, you can't.
No.
I don't
Usually
think so.
if there's a big Clubhouse that I want to tune into, I just watch somebody live stream it on YouTube.
That's probably the way to go.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. We're seeing a lot of big names get involved in Clubhouse.
Yeah.
You know, I think one of their claims to fame is that it's an advertising-free zone. Is that true?
I haven't seen ads on the platform.
Okay.
I don't spend a whole lot of time on it. I just wanted to secure my handle and kind of play around, add some
Right.
people.
Of course, there's still sponsored content.
Of course.
You can't really escape that
Of course.
in any medium that you're on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Clubhouse is doing fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Is it iPhone only? I believe it's iOS only.
Is it?
Yeah.
For now, anyway, probably.
I heard some podcaster talking about how they had to go get an iPad to participate.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Tesla, did you hear about their big Bitcoin investment?
I did hear that they invested in Bitcoin. I don't know the details.
Mm-hmm. So this, I think,
Wasn't it a percentage of their holdings?
Well, sort of. I personally think this is the early stage of a big trend in corporate finance. And to give you some insight, there's this tech company called MicroStrategy, and about 6 or so months ago, mid-pandemic, their CEO named Michael Saylor announced that he was going to be moving their entire cash balance into Bitcoin. And he was the first guy at a Fortune 500 level to publicly do this.
Mm-hmm.
The entire cash balance held in Bitcoin. And then last week, Tesla announces that they're going to be moving $1.5 billion US into Bitcoin, which is about 7-8% of their operating cash flow. So that's their entire liquidity in the business, about 7% of that, which is substantial. And they've also announced that they're going to be accepting payment for vehicles and services in crypto as well, which
insane, man. What a freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
This is wild.
Yeah.
It's just going to
awesome.
trickle down. It's just, trickle up, trickle down, whatever the way you look at it. But
Right.
once Tesla starts doing that, like, they're all going to be like, oh, maybe we should do it.
Yeah. So I think
that gives so much legitimacy to cryptos.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think Tesla has somewhere around like $20 billion in cash holdings right now. And they have certain liquidity requirements based on debt and based on production needs that they need to maintain. But if they have extra cash, it's 2021. We're in the year of QE to infinity. You see all the money printer memes. That's very much based in reality.
Yeah.
And if these companies don't want their balance sheets to burn into the ground while holding cash, they're going to have to diversify.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a lot about hedging last week. They're going to have to start hedging some of that balance with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And what they're going to do is if they receive payment in crypto or in fiat currency like US dollars, they can either choose to keep that in crypto, or they can choose to exchange it into cash to keep up with their liquidity requirement. But I don't know what their liquidity requirement is, but it certainly isn't 20 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, it's harmful for them to hold that much cash.
Yeah.
When you have that kind of volume, you're really running out of options. But this certainly legitimizes crypto on a new level. I know when Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy did it, he was getting laughed at on CNBC and all the news outlets. Didn't really know what to make of it. But this certainly legitimizes it a little bit more, especially the B2C purchase ability.
That's insane.
To actually pay with crypto.
Yeah.
That's
really funny. Back in university when my brother and I did that dad hat company, we accepted Bitcoin.
Really?
When nobody paid with it, but we accepted Bitcoin.
Yeah. You always hear those horror stories of the people who paid like 50 Bitcoin for a pizza.
Oh man.
People who get locked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a funny tweet that's like, people in crypto tell you to be skeptical of Bitcoin, not because your Bitcoin is going to lose money, but because you're probably going to lose your Bitcoin. And because it's such like a rugged system right now, it's not as seamless as downloading an app for a bank and easily transferring money in and out of it. To tell people that they have to manage like exchanges and private keys and hold their coins offline, that's a lot. and transferring crypto isn't super intuitive to somebody who's not very versed in like using tech. So I thought that was kind of funny that like you're probably going to lose your Bitcoin more likely than Bitcoin's going to lose you.
Think about how many people have already lost it.
Oh, it's insane.
Hundreds of millions of dollars, I bet. Maybe even billions. Who knows?
Yeah. So when you and I first got involved in crypto in 2016, 2017, it was mostly retail trader interest. Some of the market caps of the coins got crazy. There was a big bull run. And that was actually largely due to not just mostly retail traders, but retail traders using like leveraged products on exchanges like Binance. And without getting too technical, basically what you need to know is there wasn't much institutional interest.
No.
And in this bull run, in this 2020-21 bull run, we're seeing cryptocurrency and blockchain technology get legitimized in ways that it never was before. For example, governments are looking into doing Federal Reserve digital currencies. Bank of China, ECB, the Fed, they're all doing it. All the major banks are getting involved. Financial services companies like PayPal and Square are heavily invested in it. And now we're even seeing non-finance related Fortune 500 companies like Tesla get involved. I think very shortly you're going to be able to go to apple.com and buy an iPhone with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
We're not
probably
seeing,
within like the next year or two.
I completely agree. We're not seeing nearly as much institutional interest now as I believe we're going to in the next few years. And that's really interesting because that's something that wasn't present in 2017.
Yeah.
Even at those market highs, even when Bitcoin hit 20.
The media was laughing back then when it got up to like 25,000 or whatever it got up to. They were like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." Like it was still a joke.
Absolutely. And now, prominent executives are leaving investment banks and are leaving technology companies to go work in the crypto space. Nobody left a position at Goldman Sachs. Nobody left a cushy investment banking position to go work in crypto in 2017. Obviously, a handful of people did. Yeah. But now we're seeing real talent migrate toward the space. Yeah. And I think that's awesome.
So what is it sitting at now? Like almost 50,000?
Around 50,000, I think.
Canadian, right?
50,000 Canadian, 40,000 US.
Okay.
Give or take.
So what are the? Well, I guess we don't fucking know. That's the thing. But like, what are the odds of it going back down to 20?
It's likely.
Yeah.
But I think the point is we're seeing higher highs and higher lows.
Yeah. I bought some sub 5 and I bought some sub 10.
Gotcha. Yeah. I've been holding a little balance since 2017. Obviously, in hindsight, you wish you would have held everything you owned. Yeah. In Bitcoin, but I'm still investing regularly, dollar cost averaging in. I think that's the best way to go. If you're uncertain about this, just remember, it's easy to be overwhelmed when we're sitting at all-time highs. Yeah. But you don't know when the next all-time high is going to be.
You and I actually joked about it back when that big bull rush, is that what, bull rush?
Bull run.
When that happened, you and I joked about splitting a coin when it was at like 4,000.
Yeah. That'd be great.
We should.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, well.
Yeah, in hindsight, you would have.
But that's the other thing. There's no limit really to what Bitcoin can go to.
Right.
People are saying it's going to go to 500,000 in like a year. People are saying it's going to go to 1 million, blah, blah, blah. Like
that's what's amazing about it. Yeah. They have a finite circulating supply.
Yeah. And then we got the Doge coins of the world, which I made a couple bucks off of.
Right.
I got rid of that like a week and a half ago.
You got some Dogecoin?
I'm done.
That's hilarious.
I bought it as a meme. I thought it was hilarious. So
I remember even back in 2017, you were talking about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly new cryptos pop up every day.
That's not investing though. That's gambling, which is why I got out.
For sure. But that being said, this is all speculative, but it's about hedging the risk of currency deflation. Yeah. Because if more money is printed, it becomes worth less. Whereas with Bitcoins, there can only ever be 21 million of them. So if you consider, the demand for them seemingly infinite, as we devalue US dollars and fiat currency relative to Bitcoin, the relative value of Bitcoin only goes up. Yeah. There's a finite supply. No matter what you do, there can only ever be 21 million. By the way, due to negligence and forgetting passwords, a lot of those Bitcoin are gone forever and locked up in cold storage. Yeah. So the supply is even smaller than we think. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely definitely a very interesting gold alternative.
Dude, this is an insane time. And then Apple's making a freaking car.
Yeah. You know what? They got cold feet on the deal.
What?
Yeah, they stopped the talks. So that's another thing that I don't think we've mentioned in our
I don't
last
think we
podcast,
talked about that.
Is Hyundai, Kia were in talks with Apple of making an electric autonomous vehicle, an EV/AV. So if you don't know, Hyundai and Kia are separate companies, but I believe Hyundai owns 51% of Kia. So it's not necessarily parent and subsidiary, but they're very much a partner brand. And they were in talks of working with Apple on creating an EV/AV, entirely Apple branded.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a Kia Apple partnership. It wouldn't be a Hyundai Apple partnership. It would be an Apple car that simply uses the auto company's means of production to make the car. It would be completely Apple hardware, completely Apple designed, of course, completely Apple software, touted for a 2025 release.
Why'd they axe the deal?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe because of I don't know. I really don't know.
I want to try something.
It certainly got public.
Yeah.
What do you think? There we go. That's our plant window.
Yeah.
So we got to keep a little bit
Dude,
of
the
sunlight
plants
there.
freaking love it here.
Mm.
The plants love it. And I love it. It's coming together. We're liking it.
I wonder why, because that's what, west-facing window?
I don't know.
I think so. I don't know.
Anyway.
We're not plant experts.
No, we're not. We kill more plants than... Actually, we've only killed one. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Back to our regularly scheduled programming, and we will see you next week.
See you guys.
Peace.